Everybody, and welcome to Slowpoke Racing and to the Ultimate Racing League, sponsored by Eldridge Air Conditioning. Apologies for the slightly longer delay. I'm having a few technical issues this morning, but here we are. This is the final round, 10th and final round of our Super Formula Series. We're with the League One guys, and what a fantastic season it's been. Now, what I'm going to do, and I said I'll bring you the tables, I'm actually going to bring you the final table at the end of the race. So stick around at the end of the race if you want to see who the top five are, and I will bring you that then. Now then, we're just going to get straight into this race. It's about a 50-minute race. I'm a little bit behind with everything, so we're going to get cracked straight into it. Now, there seems to be something that's gone on with the grid, because we've got Bennett showing in pole position, but he's actually about third. Nathy's showing second, but well, let's just have a look, shall we? I think Nathy's on pole. Method looks like he's in second, with Bennett in third. Stormfly is fourth. Wadru is fifth. Grasshopper is sixth. Willard seventh. Brian Moncani is in eighth. Unforgiven ninth. Bandit is 10th. I'm not sure Bandit has been racing with these guys, so he may have just dropped in as a guest, and good to have him with us. And then Viking in 11th. And it also looks like some of the liveries are missing. We shall see as we crack on. So let's get this race underway, shall we? Now then, we are at Spa in Belgium. 4.3 miles, 20 turns. And it's a standing start. I can't remember if it's always been a standing start, but it's a standing start. And we're on the 24-hour layout track. Not that it makes any difference. I think where the pit entry or exit is, or something along those lines. As we see Nath leading the pack now down Radion. Sorry, on the camel strap. Looking at the wrong bit of paper. It just confused me. Let's get the right camera. There we go. So we'll get started in a minute, shall we? As everybody streams on through down towards Les Combes at turn 7, 8 and 9, this tricky section of the track, and then they're into Bruxelles at turn 10. Now then, Method in third, Stormfly in fourth. Oh, we've had a spinner. It looks like Bennett. It looks like Bennett has gone. Where is it? There he is. Let's just have a quick look and see what happened to Bennett. Now it's showing he's in second as we come down the hill towards Bruxelles at turn 10. Nath goes very deep into that hairpin turn, but manages to get it back on track again. Oh, and poor old Bennett just completely lost it at turn 11, and a big old kiss with barrier, and that's giving him damage as he waits for the rest of the grid to go through. So not the start Bennett wanted. And there he is all the way down in 11th, and quite a task ahead of him to catch up. To be honest, we do have another spell. Oh, Stormfly! Stormfly's gone. Wow, it is all happening here in Spa. Oh, there we go, onto the gravel at Poulon. And Stormfly is kissing Barry as well. So that's Stormfly to the back of the pack. Now that is Bennett going to come through, or is it just going to catch up to the back of Stormfly? So, Stormfly and Bennett both practically out of this race right at the very beginning. Remember, we do have pit stops to come. There's a long, long way to go. We are only on lap 1, but it is not the start those two guys wanted. This is, however, the start that Nath wanted, and he is streaming ahead. Come on, Nath, well done to you. Out in front for the minute. He's on those soft tyres, so he needs to make them work for him. Open up a decent gap. He's got Method just behind him on the mediums. Then we've got Grasshopper also on the softs. So the top three starting to spread out a little bit. Brian Moncani up to fourth. Wadru in fifth. Unforgiven is in sixth. He's on the hard tyres. What's Wadru and Brian on? Brian on the medium, Wadru on the softs. Bit of a mixed bag of tyre selection for this first stint, as Wadru having a bit of a sniff around the rear end of Brian Moncani. Let's jump on board, shall we, as we go through Arouge up that massive hill onto the Camel Straight and down towards Les Combes, as Wadru makes it look easy using that slipstream. But Brian Moncani having a bit of a sniff around the inside though, but job done for Wadru. Now can concentrate on the back of Grasshopper and getting on after him. so he doesn't want to let them get too far away, does he? So Brian McCartney now down to 5th, Unforgiven in 6th, with Willard sniffing around the rear end of his car. Pushing hard, almost glued together, aren't they, as Willard pushes Unforgiven, tries to force a mistake out of him on those hard tyres. Willard on the soft, so has got the advantage as far as grip goes for these early stages in the race. So Willard just really pushing, trying to force Unforgiven into a mistake, as I've mentioned, while he is on those hard tyres. But Unforgiven putting up a fantastic fight and keeping Willard behind him. What a great battle this is turning out to be. As they come around Stavelot at turns 15 and 16, past the penalty zone they go, on to Blanchimont. It'll be full throttle down here. Now they do have the overtake function, which is a little bit like the DRS, but it's like an extra boost of power, and Willard definitely trying to use it there. He knows he's got to get past Unforgiven on those harder tyres, and Willard just being held up at the minute, but there we go. He makes his move as they head down towards the bus stop chicane, and Willard just about, I thought he got his nose in front, but fantastic defending from Unforgiven. Managed to keep his nose in front of Willard, and Willard just had to concede that corner, couldn't push any more than he already did, and has got to follow Unforgiven for another few corners. Now he's looking for a good exit out of La Source at turn 1. Before they get onto Eau Rouge maybe, or is he going to follow him up there? No, Willard having a look at the inside as they head towards Eau Rouge then, through turns 3, 4 and 5, and Willard finally gets the job done as they go up the hill, but Unforgiven is fighting back as they get onto the Kemmel Straight, and now it is just a drag race down towards Lacombe's at turns 7, 8 and 9. Willard on the inside, but Unforgiven looks to have a bit more speed and drops in front of Willard again. Fantastic stuff from these two, really duking it out. We're going to have a look and see what's happening elsewhere. Viking is just sat behind them in 8th. He's praying that the two of them have a bit of a coming together and allows him through. Bandit in 9th. Then we've got Bennett in 10th after his spill, and Stormfly in 11th, desperately trying to catch up to the rest of the grid. Meanwhile, out in front, up at the pointy end, is Nath on those soft tyres, trying to pull away and get a decent gap back to Method, who will go a little bit further into this race than Nath. Fuel allowing, obviously. Then we've got Grasshopper still sitting there in 3rd. Now Grasshopper has been making some very strange strategic decisions in the last few races. He's been coming in very, very early. He's been getting rid of decent soft tyres. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what Grasshopper does this time out. Rodru sitting in 4th. He's just now power, power, power. That's what it's all about for Rodru. No tactics or anything. It is just get them soft tyres on, get your foot down, and try and get yourself up and amongst the leaders. And that's exactly what Rodru's doing at the minute. He's all over the back of Grasshopper, really putting him under a lot of pressure. Brian Moncani in 5th, Viking in 6th. Then we've got Bennett 7th. What's happened to Unforgiven? Whoa, what? We've got to go back. We have got to go back and see what happened to Unforgiven. We should have stayed with them, really, shouldn't we? Let's just follow these. So Willard really pushing hard, tries to make the move on Unforgiven again as we go into, oh no, 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 no. I think there was a bit of frustration there as they entered into Poulon at turn 12. You can see that Willard gets himself onto the inside. Unforgiven tries to take the normal line. They have a coming together. Bit of a wheel clash. Unforgiven goes off. Willard, he also goes off, has managed to get himself facing the right way. They'll be discussing that one about who's at fault. Willard has carried on. Unforgiven now back on the track, so he may have told Willard to keep going, but that was, well, it was inevitable. Those two were really pushing hard, weren't they? Unforgiven not giving an inch. Willard has slowed down, so whether Willard has taken responsibility for that accident and wants to give the place back to Unforgiven, it does look like he is slowed down a bit, but we'll shall see. That is unfortunate for the pair of them, and it does look like Unforgiven is going to get that place back off of Willard. Let's have a look. Unforgiven as they head down towards the bus stop chicane, flames licking out the exhaust as Bandit tries to move out of the other guy's way. We do have somebody else going for, oh, there he is, Bandit. Oh, he's got to reset, that's why. as Viking dives into the pits. Viking comes in on lap 4, so he's done his mandatory 3 stops on the hards. In fact, he's done an extra one, hasn't he? So Viking is into the pits for a change of boots and some fuel. Bit of an early stop, I think, but he knows what he's doing. Meanwhile, out in front, it is Nath. The gap between himself and Method, it's not really increased, so Method doing a good job on the medium tyres. He's got Wadru and Grasshopper both behind him, both on the softs. So this is good racing from Method. We'll jump on board with Wadru again, shall we, as we try and chase Method down. But a quick look behind us, and that's what we can see. We have got Grasshopper coming in quick. I think we missed it, and I apologise for that, but Wadru was behind Grasshopper at one point, wasn't he? So he has managed to get that move done. Grasshopper can just sit in the slipstream now and try and catch up to the back of these guys as Wadru puts the pressure on Method through this very technical part of the track at Campus, then through turn 15 at Stavelot into turn 16, back on the power again. Try not to drift too far over to the left. You don't want to be in that AstroTurf stuff. You will find the back end overtaking the front. So good stuff as Wadru tries to push hard. He's definitely into the slipstream now with Method. He's not going to get the job done surely at the bus stop. No, he just has to back off and wait until they get through these couple of tricky turns. Back on the power again. Now Wadru can think about making the move. He's going to obviously be thinking about it at a rouge. He's not going to get it done before they get to turn 1. This sharp right-hander. But Wadru should have the better grip and looking for a good exit out of that, but I don't think he got it. Method got a fantastic exit, to be fair, as he goes up through Radion and Rouge. And now Wadru thinks about making his move as Method tries to defend and take the inside line, but the superior grip that Wadru has managed to pull him through. Method, not a much he could do about that, and concedes that place to Wadru. So Wadru now up into P2 and on a purple sector as well, actually. Nath currently holding the fastest lap, our race leader. He's got a 1:54.3, but I'm sure that is going to change over the period, over the race that we've got ahead of us. But Nath doing a fantastic job at the minute, staying nice and calm, trying to look after those tyres, although it's very difficult round here. The weather, I think, is set to random, so we could get some rain. It does look pretty dark out there, doesn't it? Let's pray for rain, shall we? Last race of the season. Let's have a look down the order. We've seen Wadru and Method duking it out for second and third. Grasshopper still sitting in fourth. Brian Moncarney in fifth. Then we've got Bennett in sixth. Everybody a little bit spread out, really. Stormfly has made his way through the grid and up to seventh now after his spill on the first lap. So Stormfly up to seventh. The same for the Bennett as well. So these two doing a good job, actually, of getting themselves up through the pack. A bit of a gap though between Bennett and Stormfly at the minute, so whether Stormfly's had another issue, I'm not sure, but Stormfly up to 7th. Unforgiven in 8th after his going off at Poulon earlier on with Willard. Bandit in 9th with Willard. Talking of Willard, there he is down in 10th, so he's obviously had a bit of an issue as well. Now down in 10th with Viking in 11th, not that far behind Willard, so the pack sort of spreading out from Bandit to Unforgiven. There is quite a gap between those two. Then we've got a gap between Stormfly and Bennett. We just see Bennett there entering into the bus stop chicane. Brian Mulcahy in 5th, just about keeping an eye on Grasshopper up ahead with Method in 3rd. Wadru in 2nd, trying desperately to get as close as he can to Nath, and Nath out there in the lead currently. So let's have a look at tyres, shall we? Not too bad actually for Nath, to be fair. We're on lap 6 and tyres are looking okay. He's got just over a quarter of a tank of fuel and plenty of overtake juice left. Not really had to use it, has he? So at the minute it's all looking good. Just look in the distance, we can just see the red of Wadru's car. Excuse me. Drink, try and stop that cough. So Wadru just in the distance there, sitting in 2nd, but has opened up the gap again back to Method. who's doing a fantastic job on those medium tyres, and he's keeping Grasshopper behind him as well. Grasshopper pushing hard in fourth currently on the soft tyres, but let's have a look at the fuel. It may be the fuel that brings the guys in actually. These soft tyres just seem to be lasting a little longer than I thought they would, as we follow Method and Grasshopper into the bus stop chicane for the 6th time. Then across the line then to start lap 7 and heading down towards turn 1 at La Source. It is still Grasshopper sitting in 4th, just behind Method, although the gap has closed up considerably now, and Grasshopper having a proper good sniff around the rear end of Method, definitely into the slipstream as they caught through a Rouge up towards Radion, and then take them onto the Camel Straight, and Grasshopper will be looking to stay in that slipstream. Maybe use a bit of the overtake juice. He's used a little bit, but not a massive amount. No, he decided not to use it, so he seems quite happy to just sit behind Method at the minute and wait for Method to make mistakes. Maybe just trying to save his tyres, and a bit of fuel is Grasshopper. Get as far as he can into this race before having to change onto a harder compound of tyre. Remember, all three have to be used, all three compounds have to be used in this race. They can use it in any order, but they do have to be used towards Grasshopper. Well, he took a little bit more track than he really wanted to there, didn't he, as he came out of turn 11, and that's cost him a bit of time then onto the back of Method, so Method able to just open the gap just a little bit more. Now then, back up to our race leader. We're just keeping an eye on the fuel and tyres. Tyres okay, about 40-45% wear on Nath's car, just under quarter of a tank of fuel. It is about the same situation for Wadru in second. Fuel wise, Method has used just a little bit more, but the tyres are looking considerably better, and so they should. They are mediums. Grasshopper on the softs, he's about the same with the fuel, about quarter of a tank, with Brian Moncarney in 5th. Now it does look like Brian Moncarney is getting a little bit closer to Grasshopper, but he has used a bit more fuel as well. Oh, and there we go. Wadru is the first to pull the trigger then of these guys up at the front, and Wadru is into the pits with the soft tyres, so a change of tyres for him and a refuel. That's dropping him down the order as Bennett goes through. He's now going to move up into 5th as he passes Wadru. Stormfly through the bus stop chicane across the start finish line to start lap 8 for him. He will move up into P6 then, but is yet to make a stop. Fuel now going into Wadru's car, so let's have a look, see where he is going to come out. Unforgiven has just gone around turn 1, so Unforgiven will leapfrog over Wadru, but remember, none of these guys have pitted yet, so Wadru not too concerned. So Willard just coming around turn 1, so I think Wadru should just about be able to get out of the pits ahead of Willard. This is going to be very, very close though, as Wadru desperately tries to stay in within those white lines, otherwise you end up with a 3-second penalty. So there we go, Wadru rejoins after his pit stop in P8 with Willard in P9, Bandit in 10th and Viking in 11th. So back up to our race leader. Doesn't look like he's coming in anytime soon, does it? As we go around Stavelot onto Blanchimont with Nath. We're going to do a lap with somebody. In fact, we'll do it in a minute. We'll just keep an eye on Nath here, shall we? And if he stays out, the fuel light is now starting to flash. So if Nath stays out, we'll do a lap with him, shall we? No, he's coming in. So our race leader's decided to come in. Enough is enough. Method then in P2. He's certainly got the tyres, but has he got the fuel to get another lap in? I've got a feeling he will. So let's just jump on board then with Method, who can take us for a lap. So across the start finish line we go, heading down towards La Source at turn 1. This very, very sharp right-hander. Very careful on the accelerator pedal. You don't want the back end to spin out. Then it is put down up towards a Rouge at turn 2. Then on to Radion. This is the big climb up through turns 3, 4 and 5, which then leads us on to the Camel Straight and through turn 6. Full power all the way down towards Les Combes. at this chicane section, or as Grasshopper makes the move on him in turn 7 and 8. We're going to stay with Method though. We did see that one coming. And then we're through turn 9. Then we'll head down the hill now towards turn 10 at Bruxelles. Almost hairpin turn. Again, being very careful with that throttle. Then you're throwing it into the left-hander of turn 11. Still going downhill now towards Poulon at turn 12. Is a long, sweeping left-hander. We can just see Grasshopper up ahead. Full throttle through there for Method. Then it's down towards Campus, a series of turns at 13, 14 and 15. We've got a right-hander, then a left-hander. And then at the bottom of the hill we're back into a right-hander again, which then leads us into turn 16 at Stavelot. Do not want to drift too far out onto the left because you'll end up on that AstroTurf stuff, which could spin the car. Then we're on to Blanchimont, and it is foot on the noisy pedal all the way through this section, through turn 17 and 18. And then up towards the bus stop chicane at turns 19 and 20, hard on the brakes, and then Method will carry straight on, the same as Grasshopper's done, and into the pits they go. So that's Grasshopper and Method into the pit. Bennett will follow them then, he's got no fuel left either. Stormfly, he's going to have to go into the pits as well, currently in P4. Quite a gap actually back to Unforgiven in 5th, but remember these guys haven't pitted. Unforgiven is going to have to come in as well. Nath, having made his stop a lap earlier, currently in 6th and out on the hard tyres on a full tank of fuel. So race leader Nath is just about coming through the bus stop chicane now, across the start finish line to start lap 10 for him, while the rest of the guys are in the pit. You can see the fuel going into Grasshopper, Method, Bennett. They're all taking on the fuel as Nath hits turn 1. Now with his foot down, can Grasshopper get out on track before Nath gets the overtake? This is again going to be very close. Nath is not really in the lead until he passes that pit exit. Sparks fly out the back from the plate underneath the car, but yeah, Nath gets the job done successfully and retakes the lead. Wadrew managed to get the leap on Grasshopper in the pit, so a good stop for Wadrew. Congratulations to the pit crew there then, a brilliant job of getting Wadrew out before Grasshopper. So Wadrew up into 2nd, Grasshopper in 3rd, Brian Moncani in 4th, Method is 5th. This is all after their pit stops. So let's have a look at the tyres. Nath out on the hard tyres with Wadrew on the mediums, so Wadrew is going to have to push hard now to catch up to the back of Nath and get the move done on him while he's got those hard tyres on. Wadrew has got the hard tyres to come. I think Nath has got mediums left. So, yes, he has. Yeah, he's on the hards. He started on the softs, didn't he, Nath? So he's got the mediums to come. Wadrew has used the softs and now the mediums, so he's got hard tyres for the last stint. So Wadrew, I think he's going to have to push hard. Harder than he probably wants to be fair. But he's going to have to push hard. He's got to get past Nath, and he's got to open up a bit of a gap ready for the next pit stop if he wants to get himself up on the podium in this race. Looking good at the minute is Wadrew. There is quite a gap actually back to Grasshopper, who's currently sitting in 3rd out on the medium tyres. We are just approaching the 20-minute mark of this race, so about half an hour left. And Grasshopper, well, he's got some pretty quick company behind him. He has got Brian Moncani sitting there in 4th on some soft tyres. So Grasshopper on the mediums, he's going to be conscious of that. He will know what tyres that Brian Moncani's on, and he also knows how quick he is as Brian Moncani. Let's jump on board with Brian, shall we? As we go around turn 1, looking for a good exit. Same with Grasshopper, and Brian Moncani really having a good old sniff around the rear end of Grasshopper's car as they head up towards Radion. Is Brian Moncani going to get the move done? I think he has. Yes, he has. He's just got his nose in front before they get onto the Camel Straight. But Grasshopper's just going to sit there in the slipstream and get a free tow all the way down this straight. Brian Moncani staying to the right-hand side of the track to try and defend his line and not give Grasshopper the opportunity to make a move on him, although now Grasshopper is tucked underneath the rear wing of Brian Moncani as they go through this series of turns at Les Combes and then down towards Bruxelles at turn 10. Brian Moncani holding on to P3 with Grasshopper in P4 now. Method in 5th. He's on the soft tyres as well, so Grasshopper is going to have to do some defending against Method, because Method will want to pass him as well while he's got the better compounds on. Good racing from these guys. Bennett is in 6th. He's all on his lonesome. No friends to play with at the minute for Bennett. Then we've got Stormfly in 7th after that disastrous start. Well, for both of them, Bennett and Stormfly, they've never really got into. I thought they were going to come flying through the grid, actually. The pair of them moved up to 6th and 7th, but they just seem to be stuck there for the minute. But that's Stormfly in 7th. Unforgiven in 8th. Brilliant battle he was having earlier with Willard. Now Unforgiven is out on the mediums. So is Willard as well, but there is a bit of a gap between them. So Unforgiven holding on to P8. Willard a lot to do to catch up to the back of Unforgiven, as he's currently sitting in 9th. Then we've got Bandit in 10th, a guest driver, all in black for this race. Down in 10th with Viking in 11th. But our race leader still out in front is Nath, taking a good old chunk of that curb as we enter Radion. And you can see Wadru is definitely gaining. I'm not sure if he's into the slipstream yet, but he is very, very close. They come towards the end of the Kemmel Straight, and Wadru definitely a lot closer to Nath. Nath running the hard tyres, and Wadru on those mediums. He's got the hard tyres still to come, whereas Nath has got a set of medium tyres waiting for him. So, as I said earlier, Wadru really does need to try and get by Nath as quickly as he possibly can, while he's still got the advantage tyre-wise. And, well, it's going to be pretty soon, isn't it? As Wadru gets himself tucked right underneath the rear wing of Nath as they go around Poulon and down towards campus. And there we go, Wadru makes the move before they get to that turn at 13, and Wadru now into the lead and looking to start gapping back to Nath. So Wadru definitely on a charge, got the fastest lap as well, a 1:53.2 for Wadru. His last lap was a 1:55.9. Nath was a 1:56.4, so difference in tyres showing there. Wadru obviously got that fastest lap while on the softer compound tyres, and the last lap was on medium and Nath was on hard, you know what I mean. Cameraman got stuck there, so down to Brian Moncani, who's now in 3rd, with Method in 4th and Grasshopper in 5th. So Method managed to get the job done on Grasshopper and move himself up into P4. Grasshopper now down to 5th on those mediums, so the two guys ahead of him on the soft tyres. Grasshopper, I think, has got the hard tyres still to come as well. So all of these guys have got the hard tyres to come, I believe. Yeah. So let's just see if we can find another battle. I think, to be honest, it's around about mid-pack. Although Nath trying to, well, he's fighting back, isn't he, against Wadru. Nath has managed to catch back up to Wadru. And he's pushing hard again. So Wadru, unless he's made a slight mistake, he needs to concentrate, because at the minute the gap is not big enough. Let's have a look and see what's happening down here. So Brian Moncani in 3rd with Method in 4th and Grasshopper in 5th. These three have been following each other around for quite some time now. This is about as close as we've got to a battle, I think. See if we can find another one. Bennett all on his lonesome, so is Stormfly and Unforgiven. They think everybody's left them and they're the only guys on track. Willard, well, he really is on his own, isn't he? In no man's land in 9th, and Viking down in 10th and Bandit in 11th. So yeah, I think the battle is, well, Wadru's opened the gap back to Nath again, so those two are not fighting so much now. The battle really does seem to be for P3, doesn't it? With Brian Moncani currently got his foot on the podium, but Method and Grasshopper are still there and thereabouts, and desperate to take that P3 away from him. Brian Moncani on the softer tyres with Method and Grasshopper just behind. Method on the softs as well, Grasshopper on the mediums. So doing a decent job of staying with the two guys in front of him is Grasshopper. we've got about 24 minutes to go of this race, so one more stop for everybody on track, another change of tyres and some more fuel, which will take us then to the end of the race. As we follow these boys, so who should we jump on board with? Shall we? We'll go on board with. We go on board with Grasshopper. Yeah, let's go and let's annoy Grasshopper for a bit. Well, let's set this view now as we head towards Lacoons, and the guys ahead are just starting to pull away. It's Grasshopper on the medium tyres going down towards Bruxelles, and Method and Brian Moncani with the soft tyres just starting to pull a little bit of a gap back to Grasshopper, but he's going to keep going, isn't he? He's a constant 155, 155, 156, say constant 55, no, looking at that it's not, it's a bit all over the place, isn't it? I would say average 55 for Grasshopper, not constant, as we follow him around turn 14 into turn 15 at campus, and we'll leave Grasshopper alone. Method in fourth, still chasing Brian Moncani, and Brian Moncani has got Nath in his sights, so the gap not really opening up from Wadru back to Method, really. Any one of these four guys could make it onto the podium, and let's not forget Grasshopper, we're not going to write him off just yet. Now, as you know, I have a 50p each week, and I really don't know where to put my money this time, but I think I'm going to say I'm going to put my money on Brian Moncani to finish on the podium. He's currently sitting in third, so come on Brian, my 50p is on you to finish somewhere on the podium. At the minute it looks like Wadru is going to get up on the big step, with Nath just behind him in second, Brian Moncani holding on to third, but the gap is being maintained between all of them. Let's have a look at the lap time, shall we? So Wadru, last lap was a 56.6, Nath was a 56.9, so only 3/10 in it. Brian Moncani actually a lot quicker, a 55.2, so Brian Moncani is slowly closing that gap. Horse Method very, very deep in the exit of turn. But he's still going, is Method. I thought he was going to come on stop then, but no. He's kept it going. All pretty spaced out, aren't they? So it's all not much to look at. I was actually talking to, we're following Stormfly at the minute, I was talking to Stormfly during the week, and he said he's really enjoyed this season in the Super Formula cars, and well, I think the title is pretty much his. He's led most races, and he's not having much of a race this time. He really wanted to go out with a win, he was telling me, but with a lot of the quick guys out there, it's always going to be a struggle. Now, spinning in the first lap doesn't help. But he's a backer with Stormfly, very quick, very good racer, and he'll keep going. Oh, as we've had a development, as race leader Wadru is into the pits. Maybe, well, I was going to say maybe a lap earlier than he could have done, but it's his decision to make, obviously. So Wadru is into the pits. Now he's dropping him down the order as Stormfly goes through and across the start-finish line and into turn one. You can see the fuel going into Wadru's car. So Stormfly, it's going to be quite close when Wadru comes out of the pit. Wadru is on his way out now. Just over half a tank of fuel to go as Stormfly climbs the hill up through Radion and onto the Camel Straight and goes ahead of Wadru. But Wadru has made his final stop now, whereas everybody in front of him have got to make theirs. So Wadru rejoins in P7, but on some hard tyres. Now then, race leader is now, oh, what happened to Nathan? So race leader is now Brian Moncani. So Brian Moncani gets himself into the lead of this race. Nath on those hard tyres maybe had a bit of an issue. I'm not sure what happened, but Nath, I think he might just be struggling on the hard tyres. He's got Method all over the back of him. Method on the soft tyres, although they're starting to show some signs of wear now. So Method really needs to get the job done on Nath as well, as he has a look now as they are onto the Blanchimont. Straight, that's the other side of the track. Method gets the job done and moves up into P2. Just on a quarter of a tank of fuel for Method. Oh, Brian Moncani's going to have to come into the pit, so Method is staying out. So Brian is in. Method stays out to take the lead of this race. Brian Moncani comes in. I think Nathan's come in as well. Yes, he has. Grasshopper has stayed out, so Grasshopper's now going to move up into P2. He has got one more stop to make, the same as Method. Where is Bennett? Bennett, he's staying out. So he could move up now into P3, but I believe he's got one more stop to make. These pit stops, vitally important that you get the timing just right for them. They can make a massive difference to your race, as Brian Moncani finishes taking on some fuel and he's starting his way back out, and he's painfully slow. You do have to be careful as well that you don't cross the white line. Now, it may be that the pit lane penalties are switched off, and you can see Brian there just darting to the right as he takes control of the car, and that is because if you cross that white line at the very bottom of that pit lane, you will get a penalty. So that's why Brian suddenly jerked to the right. Now, it may be that the penalties are off. If that's the case, then you needn't have done that, Brian. But if, oh dear me, as he gets it all completely wrong at Lacombe's, fresh tyres, fresh hard cold tyres for Brian. He gets a bit of a squirrel on as he exits Lacombe's, but he'll be back on it soon. So let's just go and have a look, see what's happening up at the top. It is Method that has got the lead. He will have to come in for fuel. Now then, I think there's enough in there for one more lap, but he may well come in now. So we're just going to stick with Method to see whether he does or not. He's got Grasshopper in second. Yeah, Method's going to stay out for one more lap. Try and get the most as he can out of those soft tyres. Grasshopper on the mediums. He's going to stay out as well, at least for one more lap. Then we've got Bennett. Is he going to do the same? Yeah, so all three of these guys at the minute, Method, Grasshopper and Bennett, are all going to have to come in at the end of this lap. Stormfly, he's decided to come in now, so he's going for the undercut. Wadru has already made his stop, currently in 5th, so the guys ahead of him have all got to stop. You can see Stormfly is into the pits at the minute, so Wadru should be able to leapfrog over Stormfly, and then Wadru will move up into 4th, as the little table on the left shows you. That's what he's done. Unforgiven in 5th. Unforgiven will be stopping at the end of this lap as well, I'm sure. So Wadru looking good actually to retake the lead of this race. We haven't had the rain yet. I was just looking, it just looks very dark out there as the sparks fly, as the guys start to climb up through Eau Rouge. It is Wadru in 4th, but the three guys ahead of him have all yet to pit. So let's have a look at the distance between them. That is Method out in front. He is just coming through campus now, and then we've got Wadru a little way back, but it's going to be close. I think it's going to be close when the guys up ahead do make the pit stops. Unforgiven really pushing hard now. Obviously a lot lighter car because he's got less fuel in it. On the medium tyres as well, but Unforgiven has got to come in at the end of this lap, so even if he does manage to get by Wadru, the place will be just given back when he pulls into that pit lane. So it's going to be interesting to see what's happening up at the top. So let's stay with Method. He's going to have to come into the pits now, so he'll stay to the right as he exits the first turn at the bus stop. Grasshopper, he's going to have to come in as well. He's going to stay to the right. Same with Bennett. As Bennett comes up towards the bus stop, enter into turn 1, and then into the stop he goes. So now then, Wadru on to Blanchimont. Unforgiven in tow. all eyes on Wadru then to see whereabouts he is going to be as he passes that pit lane exit. Unforgiven pushing Wadru all the way, but no point overtaking him because Unforgiven has got to go into the pit. And Wadru's come in as well. That is really strange. Wadru's come in. He's just done a minimum. Oh, I think that may have... I think if he'd have stayed out, I think if Wadru had stayed out, he could have had this, but... wow, what a strange decision. Wadru doesn't like the hard tyres, so he's coming to put another set of softs on, so 3 stops for Wadru. Brian Moncarney, he's staying out on the hard tyres. He now takes over the lead of this race, or does he, as Method... oh, where we gone? Brian Moncarney passes that pit exit, so Brian Moncarney out in the lead. Method out of the pit on hard tyres into P2. Nath has rejoined in P3. He's on a set of mediums. Grasshopper just coming out of the pits now on his set of hard tyres to take up P4. Bennett in 5th. Stormfly 6th. Unforgiven and Wadru and Willard all in the pits. Viking in the pits as well. Is he taking on fuel or has he got a mechanical? I think he may have a mechanical issue. The crew are just looking at the car now. So Brian Moncarney senses a win here. I had him down for a podium finish. I never thought that we'd be staring down the barrel of a win. And to be fair, I bet Brian Moncarney never either. If he can maintain it. We have Method chasing us down. Method also on the harder tyres with Nath on the mediums. Nath at the minute sitting there in 3rd and getting ever closer to Method. Let's jump on board with Nath as we come around turn 16 at Stavelot onto Blanchimont. Got down on the noisy pedal and you look how quickly Method is being pulled in by Nath with that help of the slipstream. Through turn 17 into turn 18 and then we hit the bus stop chicane. Nath not going to get anything done here, surely. It is just get into that braking zone, position the car nicely, then get the power down, look for a good exit. Method doing a good job of defending Nath as we head down towards turn 1. Nath having a bit of a cheeky look at the inside. Now he puts the pressure on. He's trying to get the job done before they get to Radion. Doesn't matter if he doesn't, he can just sit in the slipstream of Methods. So up through Radion we go. Then we come out onto the Kemmel Straight. Now this is where the slipstream is really going to help Nath. He pulls to the side very early and gets the job done. He now moves up in to take the lead of this race, but Method has just pulled up right behind him with the slipstream as they go into the Coombs. And it is Nath just ahead of Method. He managed to get the job done and made it stick. Nath on the mediums, Method on the hard tyres. Put up a good fight, didn't he? But in the end, there's not much he could do about that. The softer compound tyre really helping Nath out. So Nath retakes the lead then. Grasshopper into 3rd. We are just approaching the last 10 minutes of this 50-minute race. Grasshopper out on the hard tyres. Be interested to see how many laps he does. Bennett, he's out on hard tyres as well, currently sitting in 4th. We can just see in the background there Stormfly coming around the turn, heading down towards turn 12 at Poulon. Stormfly on the soft tyres then for this final stint. Can Stormfly get himself back up onto the podium? If he wants to, he's got Bennett and Grasshopper up the road in front of him. Stormfly on the soft tyres though, with Bennett and Grasshopper both on the hard tyres. So this is going to be an interesting run-in for Stormfly. He said he wanted to go out with a win. I think that's a big ask at the minute, but I wouldn't put it past him on those soft tyres, although he is going to give them some punishment over the next few laps. So we'll keep an eye on Stormfly. Wadru has come out on another set of soft tyres. Let's have a look where's the gap between himself and Stormfly. I think maybe it was the wrong decision from Wadru. I think he could have stayed out. I think he could have held on to the lead with the hard tyres, but he's chose to come in, put the softer tyres on. We shall see. We shall see. As I say, in my humble opinion, I think he should have just stayed out. But there we go. Brian Moncarney in 7th with Unforgiven. I was going to say not that far behind him. Well, he's not that far actually. Unforgiven just coming into turn 1 now. And there we go. Just see the back of Brian Moncarni's car as he heads up towards Radion. Oh, we've got a blue flag being waved for Unforgiven. No, then is that because Nath is coming? Whereabouts is Nath? Well, I don't know who it is that's overtaking Unforgiven, but anyway, our race leader, Nath, looking pretty good at the minute actually. Just in the distance there we can see Method, and then I'm just looking a little bit further behind, and that's for Grasshopper, currently in 3rd with Bennett in 4th, then Stormfly in 5th, and Stormfly is gaining on Bennett. Bennett on the hard tyres, Stormfly on the softs. They are running out of time though. We've got about just over 8 minutes to go as Stormfly gets ever closer to Bennett. I think it is only going to be a matter of time actually before Stormfly gets P4 away from Bennett. These two actually have had really good recovery races. They both span off in the first lap and ended up at the back of the grid as Stormfly goes all the way around the outside at Blanchimont. It gets himself on the inside now as they head towards the bus stop chicane. Stormfly just in front of Bennett and now moves up into P4 using those soft tyres while they are still okay. So Stormfly up to 4th, and now the chase is on for Grasshopper, also on the hard tyres. Grasshopper just going around turn 1. Stormfly just exiting turn 1 as well. He can see Grasshopper just up ahead. Bennett is just going to try and stay with Stormfly and sit in the slipstream. Up through Radion we go. Stormfly is the man to watch at the minute, I think. Nath out in front. I don't think Nath is in any danger at the minute. The danger really is for Grasshopper. So Stormfly looking to get himself onto the podium. As we come to the end of the Kemmel Straight, then we can just about see Grasshopper up ahead. Grasshopper on those hard tyres. Wow, this is going to be a good run into the end of the race. We have about 7 minutes now to go. Nath still out in front. Method in 2nd with Grasshopper 3rd, but he does have Stormfly chasing him down. We'll jump on board with Stormfly as we go around turn 11, and then we start down the hill now towards Poulon at turn 12. There's Grasshopper just ahead, keeping the power down all the way through turn 12, still going down the hill towards Campus at turn 13, 14 and 15. That's 13 done, 14 done. Stormfly getting ever closer to Grasshopper. It really is only a matter of time. Grasshopper doing everything he can to stay in front of Stormfly. He just hasn't got the grip that Stormfly's got at the minute. He's slightly heavier as well, Grasshopper. He's got slightly more fuel as well, so that's not going to help his cause. So Stormfly is looking good for a podium finish. The big question will be is which step is he going to be on, because as you can see now, he really is drawing Grasshopper in. Grasshopper, not a lot he can do about this actually. We're just going to stay with these guys just for the next couple of laps, just to see where Stormfly makes his move. Now, is it going to be before they get to Radion and Arouge, or is Stormfly just going to sit there and then make the move on the Kemmel Straight before they get towards turn 7 and the chicane? It looks like that's what's going to happen. Stormfly now using the overtake button, pulls to the inside. Grasshopper doesn't really defend this one very hard as Stormfly now moves on through to P3 just before they get to turn 7. So well done to Stormfly, good recovery race for him. Up at the top then, Nath still out in front on those medium tyres and looking good at the minute. And let's just have a look where the gap is back to Method. Well, it's a decent gap. Can he maintain it though for the next 5 minutes? Method sitting in 2nd. Again, another decent gap back to Stormfly, but Stormfly is on an absolute charge. A 154 last lap. Method a 156. Nath a 155. Fastest man on track actually is Brian Moncarni. He's down in 7th at the minute. He's also on the soft tyres, but he's got a 153.1. So Brian Moncarni, when we're talking about on a charge, got the fastest lap, so he's chasing after Wadru. Wadru just pitted he pitted when he didn't need to. Just wanted to get rid of the hard tyres, thought it would be he'd have enough time to get the softs on and get himself back up onto the podium, but I think that may have cost him actually, that unscheduled third pit stop for Wadru. He's got Bennett ahead of him, he's got Grasshopper in front of him, the top three, Nath, Method and Stormfly, all charging away. Let's have a look at the time, shall we? We are into the last 4 minutes, about 3.5 minutes to go. Got Bennett in 5th, then Wadru 6th, Brian Moncani in 7th, as we say, Brian Moncani on a proper charge. Wadru, his last lap was 1:54.2, Brian Moncani was a 53.6, so Brian Moncani pushing hard, although, I was going to say fuel, no, he's got plenty of fuel, he's just using up the overtake juice, that's all it is, but he is getting closer and closer to Wadru. So Brian Moncani could be looking to attack Wadru and take P6 away from him. We'll just have a quick look back to see what's happening elsewhere, and then we'll come back to these guys. Unforgiven in 8th, Willard in 9th, Bandit 10th, and Viking, well, he's definitely got some kind of problem. He's still sat in the pit lane, so that's his race over. Going back up to Brian Moncani and Wadru. Brian Moncani getting ever closer and closer. Is he going to be able to get by Wadru? Both on the soft tyres. Wadru slightly heavier with more fuel in the car. Back up at the top though, Nath just looking in the distance in the background, and we cannot see Method. He is there in 2nd, but Nath looking good at the minute. Holding on to P1. Come on Nath, you can get a win out of this. Come on. There we go, you can just see Method in the background there as we come through the bus stop chicane. Method still sitting in 2nd, a great race from Method so far. He will surely be pleased with this if it stays as it is in 2nd. Stormfly, an absolute brilliant race from him. Spun on the first lap along with Bennett, and then has had to fight his way back and up onto the podium, and that's where he currently sits at the minute on the 3rd step. We have about 2 minutes, just under 2 minutes to go, so can Stormfly catch up to the back of Method? It is a big ask. I'm just looking at the map at the top right. Method in 2nd, he's the red triangle. Then we go back to Stormfly. He is just coming up to the top of Radion and onto the Camel Straight now as Method gets into turn 7 at Lacombe. So a decent gap between Method and Stormfly. A minute and a half to go. Grasshopper still sitting in 4th. Brian Moncani in 5th. He's managed to get by Wadru. Now, whether Wadru's had a bit of a moment, let's just pop back and see what happened. Oh, I've probably gone too far, but never mind. So Wadru was in 6th, wasn't he? He got Brian Moncani behind him. We did say that Brian Moncani was pushing, and it was inevitable that he was going to get by, but did Wadru make a mistake as they come down towards turn 1? Oh yes, oh, on the synchronised spinning. Oh, we like it, boys. Let's go back and have another look at that. That was superb with Bennett. They must have been practicing so hard for this, but as they come out of turn 1, it is so difficult to get this right. Look at that, both at exactly the same time. That well, it does deserve one more look. From Brian Moncani's point of view, it was beautiful. Wadru and Bennett get the prize for the best synchronised spin. And there we go. Love it. Both parked up, kissing barrier. Brian Moncani gives them a wave and says thank you very much, and moves through into 5th position. Bennett down into 6th and having to get the car back facing the right way, with Wadru doing the same. What a shame. I think Wadru, yeah, I'm going to say it again, you pitted too early, I think, my friend. The race was there for you. Didn't feel comfortable on the hard tyres though, I suspect, and thought going on to the softs was the right choice. Another track, another time, it would have paid off for him, but not this time around. So we're into the last minute then, or just about. Now we are into the last minute now, as we follow our race leader and current holder of P1 is Nath. Method still sitting there in second, and definitely looking comfortable now as Stormfly moves up into third. Gap too big. I think he's just got to rely on a mistake from either Method or Nath, which I can't see coming. But what a brilliant race from Stormfly to get himself up onto the podium, and a well-deserved glass of champagne awaits for him. Grasshopper still holding on to fourth. He's not going to lose that, is he? Who's that? He's coming up behind. Well, actually, Grasshopper is getting a little bit closer to Stormfly. So is Stormfly out of fuel? No, he's not out of fuel. Oh, we better go up to the race leader. Now then, Nathan's got another lap on. So has Method. Stormfly will have another lap as well, but he's got to be careful of that fuel. Grasshopper has got a quarter of a tank of fuel, so plenty. So Grasshopper could be looking at a podium finish as well. Brian Moncani in fifth. He's got to be a little bit careful of the fuel. Oh, he's finished. So Brian Moncani finishes in fifth. Bennett will cross the line in sixth, just ahead of Woodrow in seventh. Unforgiven is going to make his way through the bus stop chicane to finish in eighth, and we can see Bandit there finishing in 10th, just ahead of him. Unforgiven in eighth. Willard on to Blanchimont. He's going to finish in 9th. I'm just going to go back up and see what's happening up at the top. It is 3rd and 4th. Really want to be looking at Stormfly currently holding on to P3, but Grasshopper sniffing around the rear end. Stormfly got the fuel light flashing, so he's got one eye on the fuel gauge. He's got to be conscious of that as Grasshopper closes in. Nath coming around, Pool on them for the last time and looking very confident, although his fuel is looking very, very low. So Nath is going to have to do a little bit of short shifting to save some fuel, otherwise he's going to run out. Method, well, he's in the same situation, but he's not as bad. He has got just a few more drops of fuel than Nath, so this could be tight actually if they run out of fuel. And as they come around Stavelard at turn 16, Nath is really, he's just trying to nurse that car home. Method is pushing hard. Method could get the win here. Nath is about to run out of fuel as they come up towards the bus stop chicane. Nath currently holding on to P1 now. Is Method going to back out of this and let Nath have it, or is he going to push him? This is going to be almost like a photo finish, but I think Nath is just about going to get across the line. He has timed it to perfection. Nath gets the win just ahead of Method. Stormfly is just exiting the bus stop now and will get that 3rd step on the podium, so well done to him with Grasshopper in 4th. What a fantastic race. Some tactics spot on, some not so, but a brilliant win for Nath. Well done to him. Method did everything he can. He'll be pleased with 2nd, and Stormfly, well, he must be over the moon with 3rd after the start he had. Now then, I did say I was going to bring you the table, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. It is the top 5, so Stormfly actually did take the championship win on 161 points. Method got 2nd on 130 points. Nath got 3rd, 129 points, with Wadru in 4th on 108, and Grasshopper finished in 5th on 105. So that was your top 5 of League One. What a brilliant season. Thank you guys for the brilliant racing and allowing me to cover these races. If you did enjoy them, then remember, please hit the like button. If you want to come and join us here at URL, then find us on Facebook and Instagram and Discord, and well, just practically everywhere. You can go onto the website as well. It's URL ultimateracingligue.com, and just fill out a short form just letting us know what races you want to take part in, and we'll get you on track as soon as we can. That's it from me. Thank you all very much for watching. I've enjoyed your company, and I'll catch you next time round.